A record-breaking game week with 4 players captained by more than 1 million fantasy managers. However, it was a Swede that came out on top. Will it prove to be the same narrative again? Welcome to the Game Week 22 installment of the FPL Addicts Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good morning, good afternoon, or if you're watching from down under, good evening to you. Welcome to yet another edition of the Addicts Podcast. And once again, we've got a short turnaround, 58 minutes until the Game Week 22 deadline. Let's bring our entourage, the people that we always truly rely on, mainly for the one-liners, that could also be including me instead of actual advice, but it makes us who we are as people.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction.
Oh, jeez. Great addition. It is going. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. Getting off the back of a really decent game week, mate. And I think, it makes a change. All of us going into another game week confident and high off the results of the last one. So, onwards and upwards for the addicts, as Gary says, addicts assemble, let's go. So yeah, looking forward to another good game week, hopefully.
All right, well, you've pretty much got your team on standby. Would you be more than happy to start it off with that? I mean, we'll work around the mini league.
Let's do it, mate. Let's do it. So get it up on the screen for us and I'll take you through 80 points. Finally, a really good game week. The captaincy decision was 50-50 for me between Isak and Palmer. I think I went with the safer option. And it was a 6-point difference and, 12 points for the captaincy, obviously. So, not perfect, but Wisa, got his goal against Man City like I thought he would. So, yeah, Verbruggen with a cheeky clean sheet. Robinson with possibly the luckiest brace of assists that I've ever seen. Lewis Hall, Gordon and Isak doing Lewis Hall, Gordon and Isak things. That was great. And my benching decisions were fine in the end. Rodgers, was doing all right in the end with a little 6-pointer, but I won't bemoan it too much. And overall, a great game week. So yeah, really enjoyed that one. Just hello to everyone in the chat as well. We've got Colm, Miriam, Gary, the legends. We love yous. Absolutely love sharing our fantasy football journey with yous. Let us know in the comments how your game week went so we can either celebrate or commiserate with you. But yeah, are you joining me or are you joining Jack this week?
Well, I mean, Jack did not have a great game week, let's face it, only 57 points. So looking into the bigger picture, that puts you in 4th spot, 6 points ahead of Walker Peel. We've definitely seen an improvement in results. What do you believe has been a contributing factor towards your upwards trajectory recently?
Just being solid, just being really solid, picking things that aren't trying to be, special or out there. I think there were certain times this year where I've been punished by going against the grain, and it's not necessarily a bad thing to go against, what is being done and the template, so to speak, but I've just brought it a little bit more in line, and my captaincy decisions, although this week my captaincy decision is probably a little bit more spicy, but my captaincy decisions have been good as well. And so, yeah, really enjoying this turn in form for myself. But speaking of turns in form, Gillers Killers having a bad time. It's good to be above Ollie Walker-Peel, the legend that is the OWP. I've been setting my sights on catching him in my mini league for a while. And so, Reidy, you're next, lad. You're next.
80 points. It's a big gap, but it's certainly gettable if you nail some really good decisions. Go a little bit different. That assistant manager chip could prove game changing come later in the season.
Yeah, it is. It's not an insurmountable gap, and I think our strategies surrounding the double and blank game weeks. I think we're all going into these, apart from Reidy, with our chips all in hand. So we've all got the free hit. We've all got our assistant manager. We've all got our bench boost still available to play. But I still fancy myself to catch Reidy, even though he outscored me this week again. I feel like, we've got to talk about it. The Ahmad hat-trick. I was watching the game. United were, for 80 minutes, useless. Like, genuinely terrible at football. And the fact that Ahmad turned around and got one goal was annoying. But then he scored another goal, which was fair enough. And then the third goal was an absolute gift as well. He just pickpocketed the defender who'd, given up all hope at that point and decided that he didn't want to play footy anymore. So, yeah, a little bit annoying. But I think, without freak things like that happening, I feel like I'm in a good position to go forward and start catching up.
Love it, Rev. Excellent attitude to demonstrate there. We would go Reidy, but it sounds as he's probably still sleeping in, so we'll skip him for now. But this is my side. Not a smidge better, but not considerably. 84 points. We talked about Robinson, 2 accidental assists. Gordon got a goal. I think what was big, I'll get to the bigger elephant in the room in this team, but Sarr getting that assist, I think, was big just to keep himself relevant as a Palace asset for now. He's got a favourable fixture today away at West Ham, in which really any of the Palace players could really feast on. But more importantly, the captaincy call for once proved really good, getting 16 points from Isaac. And I didn't want to get put off by the flag. I just knew that he has a goal-scoring record to chase down, and he would do everything right to start.
Yeah, fair enough. And I think that's a bit of a risk, Chaza, but it's paid off. And I think there are some flags this week again that we're going to have to contend with. Cole Palmer with a little Dorito, as Gary says in the chat, to contend with. And so, yeah, it's one of them. Will we learn the lessons from this week and carry them into this upcoming game week? And will we not be put off?
Well, one lesson I still haven't learned is making sure I filled Rodgers when he returns. The Brighton game works, but he still somehow found a way to get an assist away at Everton. So, look, back in hindsight, the smarter decision would have been to bench Mo Salah, but who in their right world does that?
Who going to do that? Yeah, I think Mo Salah owners can probably... Sorry, Mo Salah captainers. We all own Mo Salah, let's be honest. But Mo Salah captainers, you can consider yourselves incredibly unlucky. I was watching that game, and I think that he was just really unlucky at the end of the day. He really did not have a great time in front of goal. He could have had 2 or 3, to be honest. So, yeah, it was a bit annoying. But then at the same time, Forest could have had 2 or 3. It was one of those where the keepers were doing amazing. I think a standout performance for me was Sells, who really kept Forest in that game. Another standout performance again was Chris Wood, just clinical, absolutely incredible finish from him, in a game week where a lot of people benched him as well. So he did well to silence the doubters.
Well, I could be wrong. Don't tell me about a person who did bench Chris Wood is the one that is just hiding in the backstage. Reidy, good morning to you. A Wood dilemma.
Reidy.
Yeah. Yeah, how are we, boys? All good on a Saturday morning. Football again. Decisions to make. Fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good game week, though, lads.
We all had one. A good one.
It's a good game week. Good game week for us. I think we're all there or thereabouts in between 80 and 90. So yeah, well played to you, mate. I think your game week was rescued by a certain Manchester United individual, though. So that
I wonder who that could have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Do you know what? Extra 20-point boost at the end of the game week. I'd have been sat there with about 60, nearly 70 points, I guess. Closer to
was shocking as well. Like, and the thing is, Ahmad got booked like straight away, and I was thinking, yes, 1 pointer, all the way up until 80 minutes. I was like, this is perfect. The comeback for me is on, and then Southampton did Southampton things.
Yeah.
And I'm not even going to give any credit to United. You know what I mean?
No, I've never enjoyed a United win. And this is a lot of games and a lot of seasons, and I've lived a little bit of a long time at the moment. Like, I've never enjoyed United winning because they were so bad, and Southampton were just awesome, really, to be fair to them. And I thought the later that game went on, I called it in a group chat. I was like, they're going to get United jamminess, the end watch.
Yeah.
It's typical. And then Ahmad scored, and I thought, okay, there's a little return. Happy days. I'll take that, I suppose. And then he got another one and another one. And I went, wow, all right, happy days. I'll take the 20 points. So, yeah, boys, 87 points all out. Listen, 3 clean sheets, but 2 of those being Palace defenders on this wild card. Remember, it was a wild card, which has been a success, luckily. And then, I think the captain decision was the only thing, again, this season where I could have ended up with nearly 100 points if I'd have got it on Palmer or even Isak, obviously. So it is what it is, but I didn't have the cojones like Chaza did to captain Isak. I didn't have the calmness and the coolness of Mikey to go with Palmer. So, it is what it is. I still can't grumble too much, even though Salah blanked. So, yeah, lads, on to the next one.
Well,
indeed. And hello, Quentin, in the chat as well. FPL Amateurs, the legend that is Quentin. Yeah, good to see you, mate. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what we do because I think we all went with different captaincy decisions last game week. I think we're going into yet another game week where the captaincy armband is well and truly up in the air. So it'll be interesting to see what we do. And people in the chat as well, let us know who you are captaining. As well, and so that'd be quite interesting to see what people are doing.
There's 45 minutes to go, so it's all about making those last-minute changes if you're one that loves a good procrastinate or two. Quickly on the public league, it is still the Rolling Tom Stones up on top, who is currently leading by 16 points. And big scores, however, headlined by Bill Stewart, who managed to accumulate 92 points. I think there's probably not many standout talking points, but there's one about Newcastle and whether it's worth to triple up because their run at the moment is incredible, especially from Lewis Hall, having accumulated 5 clean sheets and 3 assists since game week 16. Is it worth a triple up on them?
Yeah, it's got to be, right? I think the issue with the Newcastle triple up is that it's so cheap in comparison to the Champions League teams that we've been trying to invest in seasons gone by. We see players like Harry Kane in the past being like 10 or 11 mil. We see players like I don't even know, like Kevin De Bruyne being around like.
Oh, he's froze. Have we lost him?
I thought it was me, to be honest, but Didn't
Kevin
freeze.
De
He got
Bruyne,
returned.
and then the stream broke.
See, I thought Haaland froze yesterday when he signed that big 10-year contract. How big is that, Reidy?
Oh my god, yeah, that's bigger. As big as it can get, really, I suppose. Crazy. And then Pep gets asked about it in his press, and he's kind of like, he loves the club, and it's normal when somebody wants to be here for it, And it's like, piss off. Come on, what are you talking about, mate? Just, you know what I mean? Oh yeah, but I've got respect for a player that wants to stay at a club. Like, I know he was at Dortmund, but I do think the dying art of like the whole one-man club is like, it's not a thing anymore like it used to be. So if he goes and moves there and then stays there for the rest of his career, fair play to him.
Yeah.
And he's back in the Hey.
Yeah, sorry about that, boys.
No, you saw Cross has created an opportunity. Use the sound effect.
Yeah, loving it. I'm loving it. So yeah, sorry about that, boys.
No, it was good.
All I was going to say was, we see players like in the past, like for what the Newcastle boys are returning, cost. Defenders like Lewis Hall would cost 6.5 mil. Players like Anthony Gordon would cost about 10 mil. People like Isaac would cost about 11 mil. And we can get them for a fraction of the price. It feels like a cheat code at the moment, an absolute cheat code.
Yeah. The teams look nice. I mean, you can't argue. They got the prices right this season, without a doubt. However, if you go without Haaland, you can still have Salah and then some great players in your team. So, someone like Isaac, he's absolutely killing it. And I'm out the loop in terms of, I was asleep when the price rises were happening, but who went up last night? Did anyone go up again?
Chris Wood went up last night again. Yeah.
Wow. Was he the only one? Was that it?
No, there was 2 others, actually.
There were 2 others, but I think he was the most notable.
Wow.
I'll have a look. So
so Eberechi Eze up to 6-7, and now Anthony Robinson at 5-1.
Right.
With the jammies 2 assists, you can tell people just looking at
Pedro went down back to 5-6.
Iwobi's doing bits, and he's in doing that, scoring goals and crosses. Robinson's benefited from it. So
How about that for 15 points? That is
absolutely.
Chris Wood, I knew, like, even though I benched him for his 9-pointer, it didn't sit well with me doing that because I thought I fancy Forest to score against us, at least one. I played Raul Jimenez tonight.
Wasn't it? It was going to be him.
Yeah, it had to be him. And I played Raul against West Ham. And in all fairness,
he should have got one.
Far off him getting a goal because all it would have took was a little nick off that, cross, and we'd have been there.
Damn.
Yeah.
Crazy.
He's stifled that sneeze there. Well played.
Nearly up.
Saved it.
Saved it. I couldn't get to the mute in time. I was like,
that's too good. Brief check on the Women's League now. Mira, you're second. You're 14 points behind. Let's get going. Julia, a great score with 86, but right down below, Risqui with a massive 100 points there. Congratulations to you on that, having a sensational outing. I wanted to compliment again about Fulham because they're such an odd side, really, aren't they? Because we saw Iwobi had a big week. Robinson keeps getting away with these assists. Yeah. Jimenez is converting these penalties. Who is the right Fulham asset as of now? Is Robinson taking that top spot?
Yes, but only just. I mean, I think if you look at Fulham, as you said, that they're such a almost random side. You look at their last how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games, right? They've only won one in 7 they've won. Yeah, that's correct. They've drawn a lot. One's been a 0-0 against Southampton, a game you'd expect them to win. There to be goals, like you're saying about Jimenez and maybe Iwobi's. Didn't turn up in those sort of games. But if you look at Robinson individually, he's got a clean sheet, he's got an assist, and he's then got 2 assists recently. So he probably just about justifies it. However, I do think it's close with Iwobi. It's just that not many people let's be honest, fancy Alex Iwobi in their fancy teams. And if you have had him, take my hat off to you. But I think Robinson, just from a potential clean sheet and an attacking return point of view. But they aren't looking like keeping clean sheets anytime soon. That's what I will say. So it is going to run out that thing where he concedes and he doesn't get you an assist, and then he just becomes a 5.1 that you're like, I could maybe go for someone a bit cheaper. So for now, he's a hold. He's not a sell. He's a hold. Clearly, people are bringing him in still, as his price rise suggests. So, yeah.
Okay, yeah. He's got the most assists of any defender, and he's the third overall. Only Salah and Saka have had more than him.
Yep.
That is crazy.
Pretty good.
What did you make of Everton in their first outing at home to Aston Villa?
Same thing I always. Absolutely horrendous.
Oh,
I think, to be honest, I was expecting at least something, but it was just absolute crickets up in here. Like, I wasn't expecting miracles. I might be the Rev and I might, believe in miracles and all that, but I was not expecting them. I feel like we created some decent chances, you know what I mean? But it wasn't ideal. Having Calvert-Lewin being the one that the chances fall to. I think what I would say is, just to bring FPL back into the conversation, is like, I do think that if you're looking at any Evertonian players or any Everton players, just don't. We haven't seen enough from them. I know we've got a double coming up. I know that people might be looking at people like Mikalenko. I feel like people might be looking at Pickford. I don't see it personally. Like, they play Liverpool.
Swerve a wide berth.
I would swerve it really hard. I just don't think. Like, I'm hearing as well, like, there are certain content creators who, and to be fair, they've got some transfers banked up, but they're planning on going like Mikalenko or McNeil, transferring someone out, and then bringing the same player back in just for the double. And I'm like, why? It doesn't make any sense to me. Because I watched us against Aston Villa, and we were so poor, so uncreative. We couldn't keep possession. In the final third, we can't pass the ball when we're under any amount of pressure.
Do you think that's a combination of things, though, that, we talk about manager bounces? Is that something whereby the players have been a bit nervous to impress David Moyes in his first game in charge? Like, there's been a quick turnaround that he's come in. They've not had time to maybe, say about managers implementing their style or getting used to their tactics or their training sessions. Or do you just think that the quality isn't there? It just isn't there, and you're not going to be able to kind of put a blanket over that. Would you like to give them a little bit of slack and go, okay, fair enough, his first game, it is Villa. I know it's at home, and I know you expect as an Everton fan, and especially as a fan base, to go, let's get up for this. Let's show, new manager in, like old times almost. Let's get at them, and you just kind of didn't see that, so you feel deflated in a way.
It's not that I didn't see it. It's just that, like, I think David Moyes has been very clear that we need new players. We need some pace. In particular, we need some pace.
Yeah.
We need pace on the wings. Like, at the moment, we've got Jack Harrison, and then Decore was playing a little bit wide at one point. And Dai is great, but he's like, we need him through the middle because he's the only one who can actually dribble with the ball. So, and he's been playing on the left, but I would like to see him more involved. I would play him up top, to be honest. But the thing is, that's in an ideal world. The fact is, we don't have anyone who can link the play like Ndiaye can, because he's the only one who seemingly can pass the ball in the final third, and we need someone to link between a striker and the midfield. And he's been doing that really well. But again, it's just the final product isn't there, and we don't have the pace.
That's it. I think it is about how fast the game is, and your structure, especially in the middle. For me, Calvert-Lewin's a different story altogether. We talk about getting goals and Everton's lack of it, but from a midfield point of view, you've got no one really in there to take the game by the scruff of the neck and go, right, we're going to control this game. We're going to keep the ball, like you were saying before. And, it is a shame in a way, but listen, it's first game for you. You can put that to the back of your mind. You've got a next game coming up is against Tottenham, yeah. And listen, it's another home game, so you've got a chance, especially with someone like Spurs, who A, have got a lot of injuries, and B, we know what they can be like. They're either hot or they're really cold,
Yeah, so we've got more chance of Solanke scoring for us.
Well, no, listen, ultimately, if Moyes tries to nail the clean sheet, and you do get a goal or two or something, it really is. It is possible for you. But in FPL, that's another subject like we were talking about. We've got a double game week coming up for them. Do you want to have one? Do you want to have two? Do you want to triple up?
No chance.
That's yeah. But one thing I want to just quickly look at is Ducky is in the chat. How you doing, mate? Hope you good. There we go. I mean, that's for his captain on Ahmad this week, because I know he was very happy with that and maybe slightly gloated about that, which I'm sure he'll enjoy anyway. But he's now sold Ahmad.
He's sold
on, boys?
For a hat-trick.
He's sold Ahmad. So, listen, what do we think of that? Do we think that he's going to have egg on his face after doing that, or
look, eggs on his face? Yeah, maybe.
My only logic is if he's going to sell him to a Liverpool asset who has an upcoming double, such an Alexis McAllister, I actually reckon he's not a bad dark horse option, because we've seen double game weeks. It's usually the differentials that played really well.
Sorry, someone's brought in Mac.
No, he hasn't brought in McAllister. This is what Chaza's sort of suggested, saying
he's possibly going down that route.
Potentially.
Sold him for Gordon.
There we go. It was Anthony Gordon. So, probably a justified move. If you've got the money to do it, certainly, you'd want to do it. But obviously, if you've got no other fires, Ahmad is fine to kind of keep hold of. However, United were bad. They were bad. And are they going to get away with that against other teams? Is Ahmad going to score a hat-trick? Is Gordon in form? So you'd probably prefer that. And Newcastle look good and in form. So it's a good move, but just as soon as someone scores a hat-trick and then someone's like, oh, I've just sold them, you're like, what? Strange one, but also, he's not going for a McAllister. He's going for Anthony Gordon. So I can, that's fine.
Well, how early do we prepare bringing in double game week assets? Because Liverpool away at Brentford today, and then I've got Ipswich at home. Is next week probably the optimal time to really pounce on them?
What do you think, Mikey? What do you think?
I think that the flag situation going on at Liverpool is a bit precarious at the moment. So there are, popular FPL assets of this season in Diogo Jota and Luis Diaz, both with flags this week, which means that some crazy person out there will go for Núñez because he'll start. Some crazy person will.
Yeah, but we're talking that maybe this week though, Mikey. But when it comes to double right,
what I'm saying is like the overarching thing is like I think personally, I'm going to change my tune a little bit from last week, and say my ideal Liverpool triple up will be Salah, Trent, and Alisson. I think that's. I know that sounds boring, but the thing is, it's because the forwards right now. If you've got Chris Wood, you've got Isak, and you've got room for one more. Do you want to spend that slot on Cody Gakpo, or do you want to spend it on someone different? And it
so
depends.
People want to slot Gakpo right in, won't they? You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? Like, it's tempting, but I can see where you're coming from. However, you did make me a little bit sick in my mouth when you said going for Alisson, because...
Why? What's wrong with that?
We're talking about having to make a goalkeeper transfer, or you just stick with him, right? There's one thing. Wouldn't you just go for Van Dijk, same position, potential goal for him off a corner? You know, it's not happened very often, but potential clean sheet there, 90 minutes, so he's locked in, and you just go for Alisson. I know he costs an extra, what was it, 1.4 or something? Or no, 1.1, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, that for me is where you'd be going. But I can see, you know, maybe if you want to go Alisson, go Alisson. If he saves a pen, possibly. I don't know. I got my maths wrong there, by the way. I don't know what I was thinking. It was 0.9. Sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah. Yeah. So
the thing for that, for me, is like, I'm not sure I want to spend a lot of money on a defender slot when we're only playing 3 at the back most weeks anyway, right? So for me, it's like the question then becomes, well, who do I get rid of? Well, I'm not going to get rid of Lewis Hall because he's been doing great. I don't want to get rid of Robinson because his fixtures are decent all the way up until maybe 28.
Yeah.
Right. And so I feel like if I bring in Van Dijk, I'd be forced to play him every week because of just how expensive he is. And he's not massively expensive, but for me, it's like a structure thing. I feel like I'm more likely to be happy about playing Alisson this week than having a benching headache with players who are defenders who are more likely than Virgil van Dijk to get attacking returns. If that makes any sense. That's my logic anyway. Whereas, like, I feel like Alisson is at least good for a few clean sheets and doesn't take up a valuable, you know, outfield 10.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on it, Chaza? I mean, are you leaning one way? Are you just thinking 2's enough for me? I'm not going to bother thinking of too much about that third slot and have to mess around too much.
Right. If you've got more transfers banked, I would possibly exercise the third Liverpool slot. But if you kind of don't, then is it worth it? Because transfers can be quite precious. So it really depends on the planning the previous weeks before that, in fairness. And Diaz is the most transferred out, which is, I want a great segue to any surprises in the top 5 in both columns from you guys. I'll go quickly. I think Mbeumo is a little bit of a surprise. I genuinely believe he can score today against Liverpool. Yeah. And then I think I have Palace, and they've got Tottenham, and then a good fixture run after that.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I'm looking at Brentford's fixtures coming up, thinking Palace, Spurs, West Ham, Leicester, Everton. Those are, as Reidy would say, pretty creamy, you know. And I just think that not only could Brian Mbeumo score today, but getting rid of him before a run like that is crazy, man. Like, I was thinking about bringing him in, like, you know, because he's just in great form at the moment, and we know he's just such a proven FPL asset. You know, he does the business when it comes to FPL points. So to see him in that top 5 for most transferred out, I'm gobsmacked.
Yeah. Any surprises, Reidy?
I do tend to agree with what Mikey's saying. If you look at the 2 most transferred in, though, you know, Gordon, if Ahmad hadn't have got that hat-trick and would have blanked, I think a lot more people would have just been like, you know what, I'll leave him. But the fact that he did, you know, him, Gordon in form, people have basically got anyone who's engaged or template, you know, template players and managers. They've got Salah, they've got Palmer. So there's 2 slots taken. Now, if you've got a Rodgers, if you've got an Iwobi, if you've got someone like, who else, a Bruno, because some people did go there or have gone there.
Mention Bruno this week, man.
A Semenyo is another one. You know, some people have got Semenyo. There's a few different players that people have kind of got as that almost like third player after Salah and Palmer. So if you've got Gordon already, so say we put that in there, you know, because he's the fifth most transferred in. So it suggests maybe a lot of people do actually have him still.
I feel like Gordon is like well and truly part of the template now.
Yes,
and is part of the same conversation as Salah and Palmer. Not in terms of like captaincy discussion, of course, but in terms of someone super solid who is ticking along.
Yeah. And that's where I think people are going, well, actually, I've got the money, you know, so why not? If it was a trickier situation where you had to find money to get a player, so you were going to Mbeumo, for example, but you were like, I can't get there, then it's not worth it. The fact that people can go down from Mbeumo, they can get to Ahmad. If they've got a little bit of money in the bank, they can maybe even get to Gordon instead. And you just look at Newcastle's fixtures compared to Brentford's. Yes, Brentford's are becoming a little bit nice and a little bit tastier, especially the teams they're going to be playing against. But for the next three at least, Newcastle have got Bournemouth, Southampton and Fulham. And we talked before about Robinson and how great he's been, which he has, but we talked about Fulham and their clean sheets. We know Southampton, although they were good against United the other night, Newcastle's a completely different team to play up against. You know, so that's a great fixture. Bournemouth at home today. Obviously, people will say Bournemouth defensively, they're really good, well structured, you know, great solid defenders. So it may be a bit more of a test, but it is at home. So listen, Brian Mbeumo is a bit of a surprise. However, I feel like at this moment in time, it is justified. And saying game week 25, you want to get him back. Absolutely. Maybe get him back and take out Gordon. Because at that point, Gordon, which I know likes to play against big teams, does have City, Forest, and Liverpool in those three fixtures. So you could jump off him and you could go to an Mbeumo at that point.
Yeah. I mean, that's my plan, at least, to go from Gordon to Mbeumo at that sometime around game week 24, 25. I can't remember exactly which one it is, but, you know, I feel like the Newcastle triple up would be a little bit aggressive at that stage, holding on the returns against Liverpool and Forest, who are both great defences across those two game weeks. You know, so yeah, it's the old ebb and flow of FPL, isn't it?
Yeah. One player I wanted to talk about very quickly, Nicholas Jackson, third most transferred out. He's got Wolves at home on Monday.
Jackson.
Nicholas Jackson. I'd like to hear Chris Eubank say his name, or talk about Nicholas Jackson, because
the way he speaks with his
it's delightful. Just so
talk about that.
Yeah, we all go Nicholas Jackson, great player, maybe on the eye test, looks like he's threatening, makes runs, does everything that you probably want a player to do. Is he in the Darwin Núñez category? No, he's not quite that bad with his finishing. However, it does leave a lot to be desired at times. You know, you think he should be scoring that, or he's in a great position, and he just doesn't. That's my sort of thing on it. You look at his last few fixtures. You look at his returns.
Before Wolves, though, can you?
If you haven't got Chris Wood, yeah, or if you haven't got Isaac, yeah. If you haven't got, that's about it, really. Yeah.
Yeah, because last week you were like, Mikey, you're defo playing Nicholas Jackson against Wolves. You know, it's going to happen.
What's happening? No, you. Oh, wait. Okay. You've done something. You're gonna have to say, "I'm sorry, Miss Jackson," aren't you?
I'm sorry, Miss Jackson.
Ooh, I sold your son. Right. By the way, just so we don't lose track of times, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Till deadline. I mean, I know we've got to talk about captains as well. So let's fly through these fixtures. Let's sort out
pick
teams.
one. Let's pick one. Stand out. Reidy, go.
Go. Let's go with. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Brentford, Liverpool. I know it seems like, because I'm a Liverpool fans, cliche. I couldn't think of a different fixture. However, this is huge considering we've dropped points against Forest, we've dropped points against Man United. We didn't look great against Spurs, and it's a time for us to go. Let's make a statement. we're away. Brentford, decent team at home. Obviously gave City problems. But let's kind of stamp our sort of authority on this league table and get a win against Brentford, which isn't entirely possible. So I think that has a huge sort of meaning on this thing, especially with Forest having Saints at home. You'd expect them to win that comfortably. That puts pressure on us if we don't win that Brentford game. And not only that, Arsenal play at 5:30 against Villa. There we go.
Yeah. Rev.
Also, shout out Wenger in the chat. We're going to do our captains in a minute, so do stick with us. But for me, as Reidy alluded to, the stand-up game is Forest Southampton. It's one of the best teams in the league right now, and they've earned that status against undoubtedly the worst team in the league. The worst team in the league by some margin. They have less than half of the points of their next closest rivals in the Premier League table, and that's saying a lot. You know, they are so poor at the moment. Forest in the ascendancy, Southampton, you know, giving away 3 goals in the last 10 minutes of the game. I feel like Forest could be ready to absolutely batter them here in their own backyard, and it's going to be an absolute bloodbath for Southampton.
I like it. Great picks. For me, I'm going to go with Chelsea Wolves Monday night, especially those who may captain Cole Palmer. This could be a points adrenaline rush right at the very end. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm going for. Cool. Time to preview our sides. Am I right?
Yeah, let's rock and roll, mate.
Cool. All right, who's first? Who wants to go first? Who wants to volunteer as tribute?
Well, I can go first and show me team. I've got it up there.
All good. Fire away.
Okay, so what do we notice, boys? What do we notice?
There's a certain. Oh, you got rid of Jackson last week.
No, I got rid of Jackson this week. I got rid of Jackson this week.
Wood captain.
You said you won't.
It's Wood. No, I thought you had Wood last week. Yeah.
You won't sell him before Wolves, and not only have I sold Nicholas Jackson. I've got the armband on the magical Chris Wood. You know, the armband is there. I just think
you've got double Wood.
I've got double Wood, boys. So Wenger, to answer your question, do I think Wood is a good captain shout this week? I'm doing it myself. I think Liverpool have looked precarious over the past few game weeks against United, against Forest. Brentford isn't exactly an easy fixture. Whereas I think I look at Forest, who are a great team, and I look at Southampton, and you know, there's an old adage that's going around. You know, there are no easy games in the Premier League. I'm like, I think there is, and I think it's Southampton at the moment. I think that's an easy game. It's an easy game, and so yeah. Gary, the Rev has got Wood. Oh dear. Yeah, love that. Cue all of the Wood jokes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like my bench is correctly ordered.
Strong too.
So yeah, and it's.
I guess you feel comfortable with that. You've got no Arsenal defenders anyway, really. So, I mean,
and how's that been going for people who have?
Well, yeah, exactly.
It's nice to be right about something for once.
Wixer over Rodgers is a conversation, though. Definitely 100% about that.
Yeah, 100%.
Considering what you've said about Arsenal. Yeah.
I feel like Wixer's been in great form.
Fair play. I mean, listen, I questioned it last week and he returned, so I was served with a little bit of humble pie, mate. So you did well.
In common, yeah, absolutely.
Going with it again. Don't mind it.
Yeah, and I think, you know, Rodgers is not exactly someone to back over a striker. I feel like I want to go with my striker. Liverpool at home versus Arsenal away. It is a bit of a toss-up, but I think ultimately I've got to go with the man in form. And that's the thing that's swayed that decision this week. I could captain Isak, but I feel like I want to make a statement.
Andy might play a part in in blank.
I don't believe in Gandhi, mate. You know what I mean? I think the early kickoff thing is an absolute myth. But
Yeah.
I
So we
think
don't take 9 in a row for Isaac, no?
it's not that I think that. I just think Southampton are so bad.
Yeah.
I think so, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. Like, guys, I'm an Everton fan. You know, I know what it's like to watch a terrible team.
Yeah.
But I don't look at any player on that Southampton pitch and think any single one of them gives me any hope.
Yeah.
If I was a Southampton fan, you know, so that's it.
Love it.
Jackson
Great
Wood,
stuff.
Captain Wood, boom, a bosh.
Boom, boom.
Happy
Bosh.
days.
Straight to Reidy.
Straight to me, and how we're looking for this week. Look at Mikey there. Oh, yeah, I see. Talking about you would for nearly 10 minutes, and then I bring my team on, and you're dissing it already. You have your fun. But yeah, so this is me.
How we feel about the sound effects? Come on.
You're like a kid in a candy shop at the minute with them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a bit of a... I've got a dilemma, I'll be honest, this week. I went with the wild card last week. I went double Everton, double
I'm looking at your bench.
Double Everton, double Palace. And obviously, we've got Everton play Spurs home this week. West Ham away for Palace. I'll be benching both Palace. And I'll be playing, obviously Pickford. And, the toss-up between Timber and Munoz, I'm still not 100% sure on, I'll be honest. West Ham, new manager bounce. Arsenal, not amazing at home. Obviously, they're playing Villa, who are decent. And I'm just thinking, I can't bench an Arsenal this week. As good as Munoz might look attacking-wise, he's not actually been pulling up the numbers from an attacking point of view. So, yeah, clean sheet here. No attacking returns in what? I think, was it since City?
Yeah, and his underlying data hasn't been great.
Yeah, so I feel like at some point, whether it's with Roger, one of these three, right? One of these three, maybe even at least 2 out of these 4, I might get some benching points this week that I'm like, oh, God, why didn't I pick that guy? But it is what it is. I feel like that's the strongest defence. Pickford over Henderson, boys? Yes, no?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
I played Henderson. Yeah, 100%.
Oh.
I just... If there's anything we know about Tottenham is that they score. Tottenham score goals. They just lose 4-2 or something.
But you guys only conceded 1 against Villa last week at home.
Okay. I just think that it depends on what you want, save points or clean sheets. I think Pickford might get you a couple of save points, but I think also Henderson will get some save points as well. Like, he does that too. He's also got a much better fixture against a West Ham team that are without Jared Bowen. At the moment, like, who's going to score? Full Krug. Okay.
He's injured. Yeah, they've got no striker at the minute.
Like that for me is like, sorry, mate. Like, as an Everton fan, as someone who's watched Spurs play and been impressed by their attacking, completely unimpressed by the defending, I think if I had a goalkeeper that was about to play against the toothless West Ham, who are struggling at the moment, I'd be more inclined.
Well, they won last week 3-2. I know they played City, but Potter's in there. They're at home again.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna go for Pickford just because Spurs have got loads of injuries, and Andrew's under pressure. They're in 15th. Can you believe it? 15th. And Everton have got another chance, another lifeline to show. At least if they don't score, keep a clean sheet. So I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for it. And I'm hoping maybe a pen save from Pickford. But yeah, I'm just going to go for
maybe
Pickford.
A pen save. He's calling it.
Maybe a pen
yeah,
save.
I see the logic, mate. I do. I do think Spurs will score against us, though.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on to captain, because I know we've not got much time, and Chaza needs to talk about his team, talk about captain, so on. I am on Palmer, or at least I was until we're seeing the press conference about him potentially being a doubt. I know they play on Monday. Is that then a thing where you go, let's not take any chances. Let's just go with someone else who who's going to start, who's fine and fit. Or do you risk it because it's not till Monday?
I think he either starts or he's not in the squad at all. So for me, I would just make sure that your vice captaincy is on someone who you trust. I
am tempted to go Salah again. I should be going Chris Wood.
It's not a bad decision, mate. Captaining Salah is a great decision.
Forest play tomorrow though against Southampton.
Yeah.
Maybe do it this way.
You're gonna captain Wood.
Yeah.
You're gonna go with my little school of thought. Okay.
Well, that was my alternative to if it was debating between these three. That was my decision between those three. So
it'd be nice if we could all captain someone different again, though, just so we could have the banter. That mini league banter. But obviously, don't let me sway you. I obviously think Wood is a great decision. The only reason I'm captaining Wood is because I'm chasing news, and I think I would rather back Wood than Salah, because if Salah blanks, then I get extra points on news.
Yeah.
But only because I'm chasing from our mini league perspective. So that's why I'm doing it.
Yeah. No, I fully get that. Absolutely. We'll see. I've got 7 minutes to decide, really. Yeah. And on to you, Chaza, mate. That's enough for my team for this week, buddy.
Boom, boom, shake a room. We're rolling the transfer. Pickford in goal. Aina, Robinson. Timber has come in just about 2 minutes ago for Van Dijk, because I reckon Brentford scored today. Gordon, Sarr, Palmer, follow the flags. Did with Isaac. He did the absolute governor. Salah vice captain in case he goes up shit creek in West London and Stamford Bridge decides to fall down. Poor old Chelsea. Isaac up top, and Jackson, Wood, and there's bench.
Yeah. Have you made any transfers?
No, rolling.
He's rolling.
We're all rolling this week, right? For sure.
Well, no, I've done Jackson to Wood.
Is that 1 free? That's it.
Yeah, 1 free transfer. That's it. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And Palmer captain. So there you go.
Are you sticking with the Palmer captain, Chaza?
I am. Yeah.
Okay. No worries. On we go.
Seems fair.
Cool.
Any captain's corner this week? Or?
We got plenty. Yes, I'm just pretty much going to take it away. We're going to start with Mo Salah away at Brentford. Thanks, guys. So he managed 10 points away at Brentford last season. Along with that, he also managed 10 points in the reverse fixture Gameweek 2, which proved to be one of his 12 double-figure hauls he has registered under Arne Slot this campaign. Enough said about Salah, because we know how amazing he is. He is head and shoulders above the rest. Cole Palmer at home to Wolves, however, has produced 10 points in 3 of his last 4 outings, and which has bettered Salah on each of those occasions. In addition, he got 17 points in the reverse fixture against Wolves back in Game Week 2, which adds up in his 2 appearances against them, 2 goals and 3 assists. Alexander Isak, the Swedish maestro, is aiming to score in his 9th consecutive league game. In the early kickoff, I know the theories behind that M&G guy, but I don't really know how to pronounce him properly, or else Reidy and Rev are just both going to laugh at me like they usually do. However, in his last 8 outings, 11 goals and 3 assists, which accumulates to 85 points. In addition, he is top for goal involvement with 61%. This is where he either scores or assists within the last 6 game weeks. Chris Wood, now he's been a big topic on today's pod. He's the most transferred in, 842,000 new owners since the midweek deadline, which is insane. He's accumulated 35 points in the last 4 game weeks. Only Salah and Isaac have accumulated more. In addition, the Saints have conceded 31 big chances this season, which is a league high. Phil Foden and Haaland, both away at Ipswich. City haven't been talked about much today, but hey, I'm going to bring the gravy to the table on this occasion. Phil Foden, Chilly Philly Foden, 5 returns in his last 5 games. His 18 shots and 16 big chances created in the last 6 game weeks are both team leading totals. Let's not forget about Erling Haaland. He managed a hat-trick in the reverse fixture, and on that occasion, 477,000 managers played their triple captainship, which is ranked in the top 5 for uses of managers using the triple captain in any game week. Best of luck to whatever your armband is going to, and maybe a good opportunity to swerve against the Egyptian tide. Back to the studio we go. 4 minutes to go. We did well.
Great captain's corner there, Chaza. Well played. Well played. So, Reidy, where has your armband settled?
I still can't decide between Salah, Palmer, Isak, and Wood.
What a nice.
I can't decide.
Yeah.
I wish I was as convinced as you two. Palmer for one.
I'm not convinced, by the way, that so if it helps you in your thinking, the only reason I'm on Wood is because I'm chasing.
But that doesn't matter. It's a great fixture. Simple as that.
Well, it does, but it feels like a good opportunity for me to catch us.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would just go with Salah. If I was above you in the league, I'd be captain Salah because I'd be wanting to protect rank.
I know, but it's another away fixture. We've not looked great lately.
I would 100% not be captaining Chris Wood if I was in Chaza's position, for example.
Palmer against Wolves. Chris Wood against Southampton. That could be a mad score, that one. And then us against Brentford. Isak, obviously Gandhi. Don't really want to go for that one, although he could get another home.
You believe in Gandhi, don't you, mate?
100%.
Early kickoff. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know, 2 minutes to go. Captain and vice captains have to be right. I think I might go vice captain Isak.
Okay. Vice captain Isak and
I'm going to go Palmer.
Palmer.
No, Palmer captain, okay.
That's solid, mate. That's really solid.
I don't know.
Save it though. Oh, he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to save it. Got to click save your team. But Chris, you might want Wood, but you've got less than 2 minutes to decide. Make sure it doesn't crash. You know, imagine if the website crashes now and Chris doesn't know for the next hour who he's captain.
I'd had a question. Einar or Mikolenko.
Woods. He's Captain Woods. He's gone for it. He's sent it.
I don't know.
Right.
He's sent it.
The last minute. I don't know.
Now good for this week. Yeah.
Oh.
If you're captain and Wood, then I'm chasing you. I have to captain.
Have you got Palmer and Salah?
Yeah. So I've just had to switch.
I've gone for Palmer.
You've gone for Palmer?
Yeah. I can't go against him after last week.
Here we go. Only seconds to go.
Well, okay, so armband's back on Wood then. Armband is back on Wood.
How long is left?
10 seconds.
Because I have to go different.
10 seconds.
Yeah.
That's good.
So my vice captain is on Salah. Not that it matters. But
Salah pen.
Yep. All right. That will be the deadline then.
There it is. There's the deadline.
It is. There you go. There's it gone.
The deadline's gone.
Last minute captaincy battle between
me and I hate captaincy. I hate it, man. I haven't been able to get it right. It just annoys me.
All I needed to make sure was that I'm doing something different to you, Reidy, because I'm chasing you, aren't I? So, you know, going against Palmer feels wrong. Going against Salah feels wrong. Chris Wood might be. It's a game week to try it. Let's put it that way. It's a game week for me to try it.
I mean, that's true. I mean, the captain doesn't play this today. So, I mean, if Salah bangs today, it's going to be tough because you're going to be thinking, all right, I need Chris Wood to return tomorrow.
Well, Yeah,
You know,
I need Chris Wood to return regardless. You know, but yeah.
Chaza, the armband was on Palmer still.
Yeah, on Palmer. Yeah.
Wow.
A game is updating.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go.
Well, that'll do it. The next exciting thing is setting your team up for Gameweek 23.
Mm-hmm.
I think Villa have a good fixture next week at home to West Ham. You think Field Rodgers in that one?
Wood captain's a bit of a weird behaviour play, but I understand it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So both of you gone Wood.
No,
you've gone Palmer, haven't you?
Palmer, yeah.
No one went Salah.
No
one went Mo.
This has to be the week. I think Salah and Palmer are probably going to bang. Mo's had a little bit of a rest, thinking I missed those chances against Forest. I'm going to score a hat trick against Brentford. Do you know what? I think I can watch the game though without as much pressure now, and thinking I want Mo to score because he's my captain. Whereas now, if he scores, if he scores, I still get points. But obviously, if he goes off, I'm going to be like, should have captained him. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would have probably thought if there was a bit more concrete news on Palmer, I'd have gone elsewhere. But I think he'll be fine for Monday.
Yeah, there's not too much chat that makes me super concerned. It kind of feels again like the Isak situation from last week, where people obviously wanted to captain Isak, but were and ahhing. Like, obviously, Chaza, fair play, went for it anyway.
Yeah.
Well played to him, but it's one of them for me where I'm like, I don't feel like there's enough chat around Palmer's injury to make me think that it's bad enough to leave him out of the captaincy conversation for sure.
Yeah. Fair play.
All right, boys. I've got to head out, but thanks for the stream. You know, I've got to give you all a massive round of applause. I've enjoyed it. Love to you. Yeah, love it.
Yo.
Have you seen me new piece of kit, by the way? Check it out. It's like
he left, didn't he?
Fair enough.
It's good.
All right, well, wrap us up then, Chaz.
I shall do. Well, I was going to say best of luck, everyone, but whatever you've put in, it's in the hands of what is out of our... no, let's just say it's in the hands of God now. Let's face it. Right, guys, catch you for Game Week 23 some stage next week, but we will certainly tune up, as usually, masterclass in us. Until then, catch you later.